Hey guys, welcome to The Strong Young Man. It's not always easy to deal with criticism. We humans all have egos that do not like to be made to feel inadequate. We like to think we're perfect and are above receiving criticism. Most people believe that the only people who have a right to criticise us are people with more experience or a proven competence in the domain they are criticising us in. It might come as quite a hit to our ego when we engage in critical conversation with people that we think are less skillful than us. Try to avoid falling into this limiting mindset. There is always the possibility that we can learn from another's criticism, even if they are less skillful. We do, however, have absolutely no obligation to listen to criticism delivered with a disparaging tone and aimed at bringing people down. Today I want to go over the two distinctive types of criticism, constructive and destructive, and how to deal with them. The intention behind constructive criticism is so that you can use the feedback to improve your abilities and construct something meaningful. It's delivered with a pure motive to help you construct a better version of yourself. Regardless of the validity of the criticism, the intentions are good. You must receive constructive criticism with absolute humility. This person cares about you enough to want to help you, even if they can't. These people are good for you, and so you shouldn't dismiss them. Listen to what they have to say, even if you think they're wrong. Dismissing someone who genuinely cares for you may make them feel rejected by the experience. They may be reluctant to help you should you need it in the future, when their advice may actually help you. You need to humble your ego in the face of constructive criticism and let them tell you something that you already know or something that you know to be wrong. At a minimum, you'll be hearing a story of that person's experience, which can increase your understanding of their perspective. If you think you can learn something from this person, then ask them what they would do. Turn it back on them. If you think their advice is shit, you can laugh about their ignorance in your own time. Never be too arrogant to think that you can't learn anything from anyone beneath you though. This thinking is tyrannical and it will limit your potential. Intellectual modesty will help you to learn more than you could ever comprehend. Refer back to episode 28 for more of the benefits to manifesting intellectual modesty. The obvious difference between constructive criticism and destructive criticism is that the constructive criticism is helping you to construct a better life, and the destructive criticism is delivered in order to cause destruction. Let me tell you that there is absolutely no overlap between the two. Never can anyone constructively and destructively criticise you at the same time because they are two completely conflicting paradigms. Destructive criticism can be identified by the lack of the constructive aspect. It's delivered in a way that is aimed at causing destruction emotionally and mentally. The only motive of someone offering destructive criticism is to bring you down. Understand that this person is trying to bring you down to their level. That means that you are above them. Destructive criticism stems from envy and insecurities that your achievements bring out in them. It can only come from someone who has achieved less than you. If you're a successful man or exceptionally competent, you will trigger envy and insecurity in others to a larger degree. Take no heed of their attacks. Ignoring them is the best revenge. You need to develop a thick skin when these people attack you. Your best defense is to pretend that it doesn't affect you. You ignoring them will only make them more insecure. Better yet, use their destructive criticism as motivation to get better. Absorb the stones they throw at you and don't throw them back in retaliation. Instead, use the stones to build your empire. If the destructive criticism is coming from friends or family, you are under absolutely no obligation to listen to them. In fact, I highly recommend you avoid these poisonous people. I've gone over how bad these people are for your well-being in episode 38. As a recap, the attitude of toxic people will negatively affect your overall mood and your outlook on life. It will also affect your performance, and they will steal your happiness more and more over time. Recognize these people and cut them loose. If they are in your family, just limit your exposure to them. Only see them a couple of times a year and only for short periods. You don't need people who don't have your best interests in mind telling you how to live your life, especially when they are offering advice that is intended to sabotage you. If you are fragile, your limit for criticism might be low. You need to learn to take nothing personally and strengthen your relationship to criticism. Learn to improve your relationship to criticism by avoiding destructive criticism and actively seeking out constructive criticism to achieve perfection. The modesty with which you approach criticism will develop your humility, and this is the fastest path to growth. As you age, you'll have a tendency to feel above criticism. Know that in the long run, no matter how experienced you become, only good things can come from welcoming constructive criticism. Thanks for watching today's episode. In episode 120, I'll be discussing how to prolong your health span. Subscribe and click the bell icon to be notified when it drops. Catch you then.